the Outreach Project started, there was one caseworker 30 hours a week working with 6 families. Today we have 4 caseworkers working with over 600 families. That's 6 to 625 years. All along the way, the reason we can do it is the board of Family Outreach of Amherst. And every single time I come to the table and say, guess what, I've got a new idea, I've got a great idea. And I've never heard the word no. I've only heard, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this?
I work in public education in a neighboring town. Nothing like Family Outreach exists in other communities. How I wish on a daily basis I had an organization like Family Outreach to call to help the families in need.
Well, I support a lot of different organizations, but my thought is that this one really helps children, and it really helps families, and healthy families make healthy communities.
In the 1980s, this woman in my church called Helen Mitchell convinced our church to turn our giant parsonage into a homeless shelter.
CHD was the founder of the shelter in the beginning. When the funding dried up, CHD adapted to find a way to help people in Amherst in another way, and that was in the outreach program.
It was then known as the Helen Mitchell Family Outreach Project, which we called HMFUP, the acronym, because it was a mouthful.
We had a budget that I think was about, was under $20,000 for the whole thing, maybe under $15,000.
When I was hired, I had a desk and I had a phone. I didn't even have my own phone line. It was a phone for the other program. They finally said, you need to find another place to be, when all 5 lines were on hold for me. And they said, you need to go.
Laura was very stretched in terms of trying to administrate the business in addition to going out and helping these families one-on-one.
It was just pretty much me and my car. That was my office. It was sitting at people's kitchen tables, and it was holding their babies on your lap, and it was figuring out together how they were going to fix it.
I think that Family Outreach of Amherst's biggest strength is their immediate response to a family need.
Sometimes Laura would just, she'd send out a message, and now that might have even been before email, I can't remember, but somehow we'd get a message that a family needed a bed, a twin bed for a child who was sleeping on the floor.
We knew some friends who wanted to donate a bed, so we borrowed a truck and we drove the mattress and the box spring over to this place, and it turned out the young man was in my daughter's class in school. And that was my introduction to families needing help in Amherst and poverty being in Amherst. But I felt really positive about the fact that Family Outreach was able to help that family and how much it meant to them to have a new bed.
The community was finding that there were many families, children, women, intact husband and wife families who were living below the poverty line, who really needed assistance.
Poverty is a problem in Amherst. You know, it's much more pronounced than most people think. About 50% of incoming kindergartners are on free and reduced lunch, which means they're growing up in poverty.
If I were in that position, I can't think of anything better than to have this group helping me. And thinking that I could pull myself together somehow and be able to be on my own.
One of the core philosophies of Family Outreach of Amherst is to try to help people become their own case managers.
And I think that model of empowering both men and women who are struggling within poverty to solve their problems and find a better path is really an inspirational way of being for a helping agency.
I have to say it's probably one of the best volunteer things I've done, in the sense of watching a program grow and directly meet needs of people who need help.
I just can't say enough how rewarding it is. It sounds corny, but I have put in a lot of time and blood, sweat, and tears for this organization over the years, and I can honestly say I have gotten more back from it than I've given to it.
What the advisory board of Family Outreach of Amherst has done is it has helped countless mothers and fathers and children lead better lives. It has kept families in their homes. It has kept mothers and fathers out of mental institutions, out of jails. It has kept children in school. It has kept children from becoming parents too young. Thank you to each and every member of the board of Family Outreach of Amherst. You have made a world of difference.